Thanks for joining me for another deep dive into certain, let's say, perception games we can play for the purpose of integrating various types of, let's say, deeper wisdom that are often channeled to us, or perhaps they've been shared by masters that walk the earth. And this is one that I've been recently playing with, this specific game. Um, it comes from the idea that, we've been told many times that time and space is an illusion. Some say instead of us just being in a flow of time, time is moving through us, and it's technically flexible and therefore, once we gain a certain level of awareness, we'll actually be able to move back and forward in time. And perhaps, in the beginning, we play with it with the idea of shifting our consciousness back into a past event or a future event, maybe even rewriting the past in order to have a different association with it and therefore a different feeling in life to help heal wounds or trauma or to accelerate a certain manifestation, something like that. And then space is apparently all right here and right now, just like all of time is. I remember also one time I was watching Nassim Haramein, and he was talking about how they discovered that whenever protons or photons, I guess it was, moves through space, it doesn't move in the way we think about it. It's literally blipping out of existence and into existence frame by frame. And then we've heard beings like Bashar talk about how if we were to be able to see time the way they do, it's like a film strip, and each nanosecond in time is its own frame. And again, we're kind of like blipping out and back in completely, generating a whole new frame of existence. And so I was thinking about that, and I was like, okay, well, it's probably going to be in the beginning kind of challenging to think of things that way. But if time and space is all here and now, what can I start with? I could definitely start with space. Space is something I'm already used to moving through, right? But obviously, I wouldn't be moving through it. It would almost be moving through me. And every idea of an action I take, whether it's turning my head or taking a step forward, is like a way for me to explain to myself why I appear to be moving through space. And thought to myself, okay, well, what would be the easiest way to begin to sort of get my mind to consider this possibility on a deeper level? Well, what if all time and space, again, or let's start with space, all space appears to just be, right? I'm telling myself it is organized a certain way. And we'll talk about collective consciousness and how there is a sort of rule set we choose to abide by to a degree, at least for a while, whenever we first come here, on how we experience this, right? It's part of the game, if you will, part of this collective dream. And so we have certain ways that we're preconditioned to experience space. But if I want to start to experience space in this way, what if when I'm moving, instead of, let's say, if I got up now and walked towards the door, instead of I'm moving through space to go to the door is coming towards me. All of space itself is actually reorganizing to give the appearance of me moving through it, but I'm still centered in the present here and now. So the idea would be to, whether we're driving, and be careful when be careful shifting too hard when driving, so maybe not that, but let's say you go through a walk in nature, or you're just walking through the store or the home. Experiment with feeling as if all of space is moving to and through you, right? This has a very interesting effect. Um, it's kind of neat. And I've only recently started playing with this. I'm kind of excited to see where it goes. Maybe we can all find out together. But this is just an example of the kinds of games we can play with our perception to see if we can kind of tweak into these different ways of experiencing what we're being told from apparently higher levels of perception, how all this really works. With time, that may be better, let's say, out in nature and sitting next to a river or some sort of, something that is transitioning regularly. And as we're observing, let's say the stream moving, and we're just letting ourselves let go of thought and feeling the stream and feeling how the stream represents time, we can begin to feel how each present moment, each nanosecond is like time moving through us. It's kind of almost like the stream is moving through us. And how we can feel almost like a momentum happening within our being, within our center in that experience. It's very similar to feeling as though, even though we're completely centered in space, there's a movement that we're experiencing in frame by frame motion. Um, I've heard some people talk about how, here we have space time. The space is what we move through, and time appears to be just steady. But whenever we go to, let's say, something more like the fourth dimension, right, or higher, um, at least I guess time is kind of similar on higher level. But let's say for the fourth dimension, they talk about how time is what we move through. So to play with the idea of getting to the fourth dimension, feel space is moving like to match our intention. And maybe we play with time in such a way where we feel like there's a momentum that we can sense as it moves through us frame by frame, and we're moving with it. My suspicion is that as our awareness develops and we begin to feel that momentum, we begin to become viscerally familiar with it, we will eventually learn how to alter that flow of our experience of time. So, a fun little game. I'd love to hear your feedback on playing with this. If anybody has suggestions on how to improve this further, let me know. I'm excited to find out. Thank you.